Folks, welcome! My name is Barnabas. I'm the coordinator here at Seneca College for the 2D stream, and I'm welcome you once again to a live stream of our cartoons this year. Thank you, pandemic. Oh, what will we do without you? Probably gather in person, but then we couldn't show all of these wonderful cartoons to everybody out there in the world. We have so many people watching from around the world. I hear that somebody's from the Netherlands and probably other lovely places as well. So if you're from strange places out there, please put them in there. Let's hear where you're from. We want to know. We want to know where you're from. We want to know what you're eating. We want to know what you're wearing. So please post it in there. We got a lot of fun things going on here. We got the crew waiting behind me right now. They're gonna pop in. They're not here. They're in their own bedrooms and parents' basements and all those good places. But they're excited to share their 5 cartoons. Maybe 5, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes with you right now. But the fun thing is we made these cartoons in isolation, all by ourselves, with the help of, things like Zoom, with Discord, with everything else out there. And it's a strange world that we live in, but they did it. They made these cartoons, and I'm super proud. We're all super proud. The profs here at Seneca College are proud. Our dean, our president, all the support staff, and all their peers. We're pretty proud of this work. I mean, not pretty proud. We're super, super proud. And we couldn't have done it with all the support of the parents at home helping at this time, friends, family, relations, lovers, haters, the whole deal. We needed everybody to make these cartoons. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for supporting, because it's a weird time, but it's a special time for us all. Now, that being said, we're going to show these cartoons. You're going to hear a little bit from each of the people that made these cartoons of how they did it. We're going to play some clips, but also there's some time for you guys. So in this chat right here, you guys are going to be able to ask some questions. So at the 5 minutes, at the end of each cartoon screenings, then we're going to have about 5 minutes for Q&A. So make sure you get those questions in early, because we do have about a 30-second delay. So when I say something, it's actually 30 seconds previous that I said it. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know about anything anymore, but what I do know is we're going to meet the gang. You guys want to meet the gang? Let's give it up for the crew here at Seneca College. Give it up, crew. Guys, say hi.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Hello.
Yup it up. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hello.
So you guys did it. You made cartoons. That's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Just in time.
We did it.
Now you guys are all over basically Toronto right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Toronto,
Mostly.
GTA
Not
area.
quite.
Now, that was a pretty weird year, huh? I mean, not being able to see each other, not even meeting some of us in person. Some of you guys have never met in person. Some of us we've never really seen your face because your webcam doesn't work. But that's Layla. That's a whole nother story there. But
Called out.
but it was a weird time, wasn't it?
I'm using my mom's 10-year-old computer.
Well, that's great. I like your headphones though.
It's
Yeah. So Keelan, what'd you think of this year? We did it though, didn't we?
It was a crazy year. It was a lot of people who just never met and came together and made some pretty cool cartoons. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of incredible, I would say. Eden, directing this cartoon from your bedroom, how did that go?
It got lonely sometimes, but I miss everybody, but I know that we can be together again, and everything got finished, so we got through it.
Yeah, we did get through it. Christian, what do you think? Did we get through it?
Yeah, we got through it. I think we're all alive. We're all here, so
Yeah.
we're good.
All right, well, we're going to jump back in with these guys. Make some noise, people. Make some noise. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back, and we're going to check in with them. We're going to jump to Christian now to introduce the first cartoon. So you guys get out of here. Zay, get out of here. Come on. So Christian, tell us a bit about what we're going to see here. Where did this inspiration come to you?
Oh, I was inspired by a lot for this one, but the biggest thing I think is over the quarantine,
Lucas, can you turn off your camera? Eddie, can you turn off your camera?
Yeah, over quarantine, I just kind of got back into playing music a lot, and I think I wanted something that combined my passion for music and animation, and it's just a lot of everything I enjoy. I just try to fit into one film, and it was a fun time doing that.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
When you guys wanted to do like a rock cartoon,
Yeah.
I had my doubts. I mean, everybody had their doubts because it's like, oh, I want to make our own music. It's like, oh, you're animators. You're not really musicians.
Yeah.
Was there ever those doubts that you're like, I don't know if this is going to work out with the music, or were you always like, I'm badass at music, a bit of being a musician, and it's just going to be no
No,
problem.
like I had never like written a song. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had an idea and I had the passion for it basically. And I had me and Jack were like the two that wrote all the songs for our short, and it turned out a lot better than I expected, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, it turned out really good. I mean, that's why we're kicking off the show, because this cartoon kicks. So tell us a bit about it without giving the whole thing away. Introduce this thing, and then
Okay.
we're gonna jump to it.
Well, in a nutshell, it's basically about this trio. It's Frankie, Erica, and Drew, and they're on this road trip. And as road trips usually do, things go wrong. You know, car breaks down. They have some issues, but they're all on this journey to basically achieve fame and fortune because Frankie wants to be a rock star, right? And as anyone who wants to be a rock star does, they want to be famous. They want people to know them. And he takes it a little bit too far, and he has difficulties
Whoa.
with his friends along
Well,
the way.
I think you're giving away too much. I think we
Is,
got.
is that too much? Is
I
that
think
too
we
much?
got to roll film. All right. Well, thank you. We're gonna come
Okay,
back with
okay.
Christian right after this. See the whole crew and see a little bit more. But right now, we're gonna give you half of the way.
Mom? Frankie! What was that? Why would you? Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you!
Hey, don't blow this for me, kid. All right?
Are we there yet? Hey, what are you guys just standing around for? We have a show to do.
We didn't make it. Truck died.
What do you mean truck died? We're supposed to be in Tulsa for 8. What time is it?
We're not gonna make it, Frankie.
But we have to make it. My whole career is riding on this show.
You mean our career?
David Bluesteel was gonna be there. He was gonna give me my own show.
Who cares about being famous? Aren't we in it for the music?
You don't get it. David friggin' Bluesteel. God, you both are clueless. Stupid friends. Stupid truck. Stupid desert. Ah!
I was once where you were. My band didn't make it, but I know you guys have a shot. Look, your friends are counting on you.
But Mom, I had it all.
I believe in you, Frankie. Tonight is all about you and your friends. You'll be amazing, and I'll always be right here. Go get 'em, my little rock star.
Listen,
You want to play?
And we're back. We're back with the crew. Hey, crew. How are you guys?
Hey.
Hey.
That was a rockin'
G'day.
ride. We just had a rockin' ride together. So let's just go around the horn here, and we'll just go through and introduce them. We know who Christian is, but the rest of them, let's go through. So, yeah.
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, I was the director of the film. I was also rigging lead, so I built all the characters. I built the puppets for the characters, so everyone could move them around. And I was also, me and Jack both collaborated on the music, and I was kind of everywhere in a little bit of everything. So that was me.
A little bit of this and also that.
Yeah.
I can go next. I am Jack. I was story lead and comp on that film. So basically, like, after the script got made, I and my team of storyboard magicians put it all together, made it look visually, like, got all the like flares and stuff that we needed, and plotted it out so that it could all be animated nicely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. And you're an animator.
And I'm an animator. I did a lot of animate on it.
Okay, let's jump up to Amori.
Hi, I'm Amori. I was production manager and layout lead. So all of those layouts, I worked with quite a few people outside to make the layouts incredibly amazing. Thank you for all the help. And yeah, I helped put the film together today and yesterday. So it was excellent.
Great. Thanks, Amori. Aaron, what'd you do? Why are you here?
Hi. So yeah, I'm Aaron. I was the effects lead. I was also with So Young, one of the character leads. And yeah,
Great.
Lots of fun this film.
Great. Speaking of So Young, hi So Young.
Hi, I'm So Young, not So Young. I'm a character designer with Aaron, and I was a prop lead, and I worked on crowds in the film. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Eddie.
Yeah, hi. I'm Eddie, and I was animation lead, so I was doing revisions for the whole team for trying to keep the quality of animation up and posing. And also I was part of the rigging team and the storyboarding team.
Nice. And Luke. Luke, you're not even in my class. Why are you here?
Yep, I'm Luke. I did everything with the car, basically.
That's why you're
except for modeling. I did the rigging, the texturing, animating, and a lot of the comp for the car.
Fantastic. So what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to show a clip or some drawings, whatever these guys are proud of, and then they're going to talk a little bit about the behind the scenes in it. So we're going to start off with our director and then our production manager, and then we'll go through the rest of the riff-raff. So first off, we're going to play a clip that Christian's going to talk about. So, Christian, we saw a truck driving. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a truck and all the characters in the shot. It's the thing for this shot was that I had to animate Drew drumming at the back, and animating characters playing instruments is pretty difficult. I had to like, in a way, I was animating it, but I was also learning to play the drums at the same time. So I had to figure out like, okay, like what hand was doing what. It's like the left hand's hitting the hi-hats and the right hand's hitting the toms. And just figuring all that out took a while. And this was like one of my biggest shots. So I had nearly destroyed my computer at certain points just trying to render it and get it all done.
Yeah, but it looks awesome. And Luke's going to show kind of a halfway baked version of it. But I remember seeing this for the first time and seeing the truck bounce and all the drums come out and come back in, and then you're comping with the characters, and I was like, wow, these guys are not messing around anymore. We used to mess around in the 2D stream. These guys, it's not. This is like full on, like, this is better than a lot of productions get going on. So it's pretty cool. Maybe actually let's jump to Lucas to talk about the 3D part of that too, just because same kind of shot. So we're going to jump to Lucas's version of this. The whole joke that you set up here, which I think like some jokes like you write into the script and it's like, okay, it kind of works or whatever. But I feel like this whole joke with it bumps and then looking in the rear view mirror and hitting the gas and then her flying back and then smashing in that, like that joke really, it's awesome. It's awesome is what it was. But we're not talking about that right now. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Luke, tell us a bit about the 3D process and how you got wrangled into this.
Yeah, so it was a bit of inventing stuff as we were going because there isn't a lot of documentation on like bringing 3D stuff into Harmony. So basically I made the model in Blender and then I handed it off by exporting it as an Alembic cache into Harmony, and then they animated the character inside, and then I took the video from Harmony and then back into Blender to render it. So it was kind of a back and forth, really just trying to figure it out as we went. A
lot of experimenting to get that close to.
So was the final render out of Blender then?
So I actually had to like in Blender cut the car into like sections because it has like depth, and then we had to like fold the character in, and then like it was like a lot of finagling. Like that shot actually had like 15 layers or something. Like just but you don't even see all the layers, hopefully.
No, you don't.
Don't freeze frame it.
yeah, freeze frame it afterwards. Find all the flaws. All right, Amori, we're gonna jump to you next and play your clip here. So here's.
You don't get it. David friggin' Bluesteel.
We saw flipping out of the car. That was your first shot that you did, and there was a lot of revs kind of jumping in and out of that.
Exactly, yeah. No, I was quite pissed about it because it was a lot more of an action shot than I'm used to doing. And like I wasn't quite as comfortable with rigging at that point in time, but through doing that shot, I really felt like I hit a stride. Like I enjoyed animating. Even when I got frustrated, I liked the problem solving aspect of it. So like that shot really showed me, animating is like excellent, and I enjoy the rigged animation. And I really just enjoy how that shot came out. I was happy.
Yeah, it's great. And the next one too then.
Yes, yeah. So I just enjoyed the humor in it, Frankie having to point at everybody and then leaving and then sliding out. I wish I could do that. I wish there was just you can only see this much of me and then I just disappear. For comedic effect.
All right, this just in. We just got Valet, so I think we're good on the rest of things here. Thank you, Amori. It was cool. I think like both of those shots, there's some nice acting, and you really, I think, grew as an animator during this whole thing too. Which I mean, I can blanket statement say that to everybody, but especially for Shrek.
Exactly. I do everything.
Yeah. So Young, let's jump to you. So we got a lot of pick action there. They basically picked you for the pick shots.
Yeah, I worked on a lot of stagey scene of half of the way. I'm really proud of that. I really enjoyed animating it. Especially that I had to like animate them on the music, and yeah, and I also worked on the crowds in there. So I'm really proud of those shots.
Yeah, they turned out. Now, I never saw this until the cut right now, where he goes up in the air with the hand, and then he goes whoop, and then there's a pick in there.
Oh yeah.
How did that come to be?
That's it.
Was that your idea? Was that Eddie's idea?
Actually, about that, Christian gave me a reference.
Yeah, I can't even take credit for that though, because I think Audrey sent me just a GIF. It was from like the Trolls movie, of one of the characters just flipping their hand and a pick appearing, and so I sent that to you, and then we kind of took it, took it and ran with it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. They're great shots. We're gonna keep moving along here. So up next is Eddie. We're gonna play a clip of yours. Now, it was the last shot there, playing it out. So it's great, and there's a lot of purple lightning. Whose idea was this purple lightning idea?
That was between like Christian and Aaron.
Yeah.
So yeah, they made a lot of like general effects that we could kind of just like use for them like playing music, and we kind of chose that like when they're kind of closer up, that we kind of use those effects instead of like getting in the way of, I guess, more like crowded shots and stuff like that where they're a bit farther away.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, that last shot, that's a pretty doozy. It's the biggest rock and roll sequence of it. Everybody's playing. There's a big truck out, and you got, everyone's favorite lizard in there. Was there anything tricky about that, or is just at this point you just grind it out?
I think the hardest thing was like trying to get all the sound files together, because like just in hindsight's like 2020 kind of deal, we didn't really have all the sound separated, and like a lot of that shot was just like going by ear with like playing music kind of is like another lip sync in a kind of way. So it's like three instruments kind of talking over each other and trying to find out all the beats and stuff with that.
Yep. Well, it's good. I mean, it's tricky when everything's moving. It's all liquid at that point. But I think you nailed it on that side. Now to the audience world here too. We're going to come to questions. We got 2 more to talk to, and then we got a couple questions. So if you have a question related to this cartoon, then please put it in the chat, and we'll try to take a look at it. Okay, so up next we got Aaron. We're going to show some stuff. All right, so we got the shot from the cartoon where the lizard comes in and that turns around. I mean, it's a gorgeous shot. What's going on? Why'd you do this? Why'd you make such a gorgeous shot?
Yeah, well, we already went over all this stuff with the 3D car. So I felt like that was a good show of that. But also, I animated all the lizards. I was basically the designated lizard animator, and I felt like this shot was probably like the peak of that level. Plus, that was like my designated shot, and I feel like just a lot of the acting with the lizard, I felt like really hit with this.
People are asking about the lizard. Now, how did the lizard come to be? Because he wasn't in the original copy, was he?
No, actually.
People want to know what happened to the lizard as well, but let's talk about how did the lizard come to be?
So it kind of just started as like we want like a cute little kind of mascot character, and I know Jack did like a concept for the boards, kind of like pitching it in a sense, and it was like we all kind of fell in love with that character, and so when I was animating it, I had to keep in mind I wanted to do the boards justice, so I had to like look up reference of like how lizards walk, what makes a lizard walk unique, and then really exaggerate it into that kind of like windmill like scuttle up front, and like even the acting, it's like
You got into the
yeah.
mind of the lizard.
In a sense, yeah.
That's great. That's what we all want to do as animators, is get into the minds.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. And then the lizard gets hit, and then he gets dragged, and we're talking about having him go on the tire, and then you guys ended up having him dragging behind, and then he closes the show. So it was this nice kind of running gag. It was organic, wouldn't you say, Jack?
Yes.
Okay, speaking of Jack, we're going to play a clip. Is this going out to your parents, Jack, this clip? Okay. And we're back. And Ecamm Live has the audio, as we are learning quite thoroughly. Jack, tell us. So there's a bunch of crazy stuff. There was bands going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of like during the boards, right? Christian's just across the wall from me, so we'd put something in to the boards, right? And I'd be like, "Yo, Christian, check this out." And he'd be like, "Yo, that looks so cool." And then we got to the point where we're like animating, and some like alumni would come in and be like, "Are you sure you want to like track a character in 3D motion like that?" And sure enough, as we were animating it, it was like nightmarish. Like the Frankie rig just like bounced all over the place, and like the truck wasn't where I wanted it to be, but I got it working. And once the effects started coming in, like starting with the lights and stuff, it looked great. Got the confetti in, and then all the crowds so young. Thank you for that. They look fantastic. And like it all came together, and like I'm so happy with how these shots came out.
Yeah, they really. I mean, it really came together. I'd say.
Yeah.
I had my doubts. The whole time up until last week.
You never should have doubted me, Bonnie.
No, I'm kidding. Well, kind of kidding. I didn't think it would turn out as good as it did. I'm actually very impressed.
No,
and
I
very
agree.
delighted.
That like, yeah.
Yeah, you guys work so hard. Oh my god.
I literally was working on that shot from like start of the semester to like a week ago.
But I think,
or like the whole like transitional sequence.
But tell us how David Bluesteel got in there.
Originally his name was Danny Steele, but
for those of you that don't know, we have an animation instructor here at Seneca College called David Bluesteel.
I
Well,
do.
Bluestein, but now he's known as Bluesteel.
That's just his name now. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
I don't know.
David.
I don't know if we ever told him.
Yeah, no, I don't think we ever.
Does he not know?
I think I may have listened.
I mean, at this point, he
no one
has
tell
to.
him?
Right?
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I think it was just like it was originally Danny Steele, but that was a little like, I don't know. It felt like a little disconnected from us, and we were like, Steele sounds like steam, doesn't it? Or I don't know. I'm tired.
It's great. I think that's a great example. All these are great examples of how your cartoon organically came together. So it was like one idea that was plussed by somebody else, that was plussed by somebody else, that was, boarded and put in the cartoon, and all these things kind of made this cartoon a nice cohesive thing. Christian and his mom may have inspired kind of with this cartoon, but then I think you guys all put your heart and soul and your jokes and your thoughts and your 3D cars and everything in here. And there's a lot of attitude. I like, how the characters are acting too. So I think you really nailed it on that one too. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
and thank you for watching.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Totally.
This Seneca live stream was brought to you, but okay, I'll stop.
Hire them all. They're all so talented. That's right. This is the last day of class, and these guys are going out into the real world now, folks. The real world to make cartoons for money. Instead of paying us, people will pay them, which is the interesting things. And if you want to see more of them, you can scroll down to where they're all listed below here and take a look at their demo reels. It's like, it can be easier. I think that's about it for now. So thank you so much, you guys. This is a fantastic cartoon. You did a great job. And I look forward to seeing it in many festivals to come. Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to pull in the next one. So we're going to pull in Keelan, who's the director of the hard to pronounce but beautiful cartoon, Mutterseelenallein. Almost. Did I say it?
Mutterseelenallein.
Mutterseelenallein. All right. Can we all say that together? Mutterseelenallein. It's a lot easier to type it if you copy it and paste it.
It is.
A little
It's true.
trick that I've learned. So,
Or if
Keelan.
we just called it for a while, we would say, oh, the Ice Age film.
Yeah. So, Keelan, so tell us about this Ice Age film, but don't give too much away.
Oh, no. This film is, I like to think of it as a story of a very isolated man who is a bit afraid to leave the boundaries of a community he has created, and having to come face to face with some of the troubles that he didn't realize were quite present in his community before while living in this sort of fantasy he has created for himself.
And so where did you set it?
It is set in a kind of future where he is in a town that is buried in snow, up to its neck. We placed it in Alberta, I believe, here in Canada, and yeah, it's a very icy, just kind of barren setting he is finding himself in.
Now, what inspired this cartoon?
It started with just a sketch in my sketchbook I had of a joke of a kind of man, or a very sunny, beautiful, idyllic looking beach town, and then pulling out to a man standing alone in a blizzard looking at a billboard buried up to its neck in snow. And then it kind of, that idea came at the start of lockdown, and a lot of isolation, stories of people's isolation, and people kind of having discussions around expressing fears of re-entering regular kind of life again after lockdown and after being isolated for so long. And that's kind of where a lot of these ideas took form. And kind of getting to explore some of those fears and some of those concerns some people had despite wanting to go back out into their communities.
Yeah. So we are, in fact, the Iceman.
We are the Iceman.
What's the Iceman's name?
Albert.
Albert the Iceman. All right, well, we're going to check it out. So, ladies and gents, and humans, and half-humans, we're going to see Mutterseelenallein. Maybe. We're going to see it regardless. Here we go. Right here at Seneca 2D. And we are back. Welcome back, folks. Mutterseelenallein. Let's give it up and let's meet the crew behind the magic, shall we? Here we are. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's do a brief round robin introduction and then we'll pop in. And we have one ghost as well. So we'll start off.
Is Alex here?
Alex is here, yes.
Okay, good.
All right, so Keelan, let's start with you again. So you worked, you directed it, and then what else?
I was director. I was also the storyboard lead. I was rigging lead and with Mel, and I was also animation lead with Mel. We were kind of co-leads on those.
Co-leads. Co-leads. Okay, cool. Mel, what'd you do?
Hi, I was the production manager and I was co-leads with Keelan on rigging and animation. I also worked on compositing, editing, and the sound design.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, SpongeBobby Vahan, what'd you do?
That's good. So I was the 3D lead. I did like a couple layouts, did a bunch of animation, all sorts of stuff. But 3D lead for the most
3D lead, 2D in the 3D lead. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool, Alex, what's going down?
My name's Alex, and I was the layout lead and prop lead.
Layout lead and prop lead. That's two big hats to be wearing, Mr. Alex. And Drulia, tell us, what'd you do?
Hey, yeah, I was the character design lead and also the color lead for the film, and I worked on animation and did a painting of the background. So.
Fantastic. Now you guys are a small crew. Oh wait, Kamal. Kamal is the ghost. Kamal, what did you
Kamal,
do?
don't forget Kamal.
I'm the lead for the special effects, and I did a couple of layouts and animation.
Nice. Effects and layouts. All right, so we're going to go through, play some of your guys' stuff, and talk a bit about it. So we're going to start with Keelan. Keelan, we're going to play one of your clips now. Oh, we're not. We're actually... This is the backgrounds here. Let's see if I can pop. Yeah, it's a color script. So... Yeah. So we can... You guys can see it. But you can't hear Keelan, so we're going to pop back out. All right, so we just saw a color script, but we couldn't hear you. But tell us a bit about what we just saw. It was great. It was beautiful.
Yes, that was a little bit of the color script. There's a lot of different kind of parts that I worked on in the film, but I wanted to show like a little bit. We split the color script up into thirds. So Julia did the first bit, I did the middle, and Kamal did the last third. And so I really, with this film, one of the things I'm very passionate about is color and exploring the use of color in art and film and just kind of pushing that. And so I really wanted our color script to be super bright and to kind of just hit all the emotions using as many kind of like palettes and just using color to kind of bring out a lot of emotion and feelings.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's amazing that you guys split it up too, because a lot of this time it's, it's one vision, it's one color. But I think because you guys are a small team, you're like, everybody take a little piece of the pie, and it'll help out. And it really worked out because the color is gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump to Mel next. We're gonna show you the little doggers that Mel designed. Goes right over my face. That's how it works. That's how I set it up. Well, there you go. You saw the dog composed over my face, which was strange, but that's the magic. So Mel, tell us about designing little doggers.
Originally, the dog was 2 dogs, and we quickly realized that would be awful to animate, so it became 1 dog. And then through the storyboarding process, we started building his character more and more, where he started off as like this cool stoic wolf dog. He quickly became an idiot, and we really wanted to reflect that in his design. And personally for me, the dog really reminded me of my sister's dog, Blizzard. So I know. I just grew to love him a lot.
Yeah, no, he was a lovable thing, and I think like the dumber he got, the more we loved him too, as all dumb things go. People are demanding in the chat to know the dog's name.
The dog's name is Vern, named after our first-year life drawing teacher, Werner.
There you have it, folks. Bluestein and now Werner. Who's next? No one's safe.
Nope.
That's great. Thanks, Mel. All right, next up, we're going to throw it to Vahan. So we have a little bit of a kind of a behind the scenes of the 3D side of things. So we're going to roll a little clip for that, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Some deep beats, Vahan. You really tricked us on that one. So tell us, so Blender, we don't actually teach Blender here, but like 2 of the 3D sides of things are Blender, and looks like maybe we're going to have to. Or else you guys are going to be teaching us Blender. But tell us what the heck we just saw, and why did we see it? Why did we like it?
So we brought up this idea to use 3D backgrounds since we are the smallest group. And we said it can actually be really efficient to just use 3D. Let's put it to our the thing with Blender is it comes off as too perfect sometimes, so we had to like figure out ways to make it look real toony by using like grease pencil, UV maps, that sort of stuff. And the beauty in this is we could change all the colors and all that kind of cool stuff like effortlessly, as you saw in the clip. So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Now, how much control did you have with color? Because I could see, like, as you were doing these sliders, like the snow was turning yellow and green and everything was, like, crazy. So did you have to match color, or how did that all work?
So we took the colors that this, like, squad came up with, Julia, Keelan, everyone, and I basically just took the hex codes and slapped them on in there, and bam, we got the colors.
Okay, so it was designed first, and then you had to grab those colors and then use that.
Yeah, and you can preset them, so you could just click, and you could go.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to know. Now, the rest of you guys that didn't know about Blender, and Vahan's like, I want to do this. Did you just have blind faith? You're like, well, I guess it's going to be great. Or did anybody was like, no, we have to draw these backgrounds. They all have to be drawn. Or is it like, who cares at this point?
We were all like, yeah, go for it.
Well, because I think, Vahan, you brought it up in a meeting as a suggestion, and I remember I had also been seeing some really cool a lot of people have been starting to post like cool 2D, 3D, like grease pencil art from Blender. And so I was really open to it, encouraging to it, because I thought it was a really neat thing, and Blender was something like I'd also been interested in. So hearing you like suggest it was a really kind of like exciting thing to hear. It was like, oh, that would be really cool to like try out and be something interesting to kind of try that's different.
Yeah, and I also have like a background in 3D from my previous college that I went to. So it didn't go in fully blinded. I just had to kind of get the gist of Blender because I've never really used Blender. So it was just a quick learning process.
Yeah, it's
But
cool.
It worked out great.
So do you think you're going to do more 3D after this, or are you like, oh, I'm going to go back into 2D because that's...
I want to incorporate 2D with 3D as much as possible because I think 3D can amplify 2D like crazy.
Yeah.
It's 3D. Yeah.
Totally.
There's a lot of options for it. I'm all for it.
Okay, great. We're going to go, Alex, we're going to show one of your... Well, actually, let's do Alex's, and then we're going to show a colored version of a background, and then we're going to show a line version of a background. So I'll show you Alex's version here. So that's the camera shop you can see right now. The old camera shop. Bahan animated them coming down the old stairs. And we'll pop back out. So Alex, tell us a bit about that camera shop background and why you guys set it in a camera shop.
The look that we were trying to go for is to make the camera shop look like it's lived in. So I thought about what kinds of things that the character will be using if this place is their home.
Yeah. Now, whose idea was it to have him in a camera shop to begin with? Was it Keelan's idea? Was it Bahan's idea? Do we even know anymore?
I think it was either Keelan's or we all kind of came up with it when we were talking about it.
Yeah, honestly,
just
like
happened organically.
when we were writing, we were all writing together, and it was like just really nice.
I feel like
out
it came
real
organically because we did write the whole screenplay together, and we knew he lived. There was a dark room. The dark room was always going to be there, and so I think it just kind of came easily to the conclusion that he's probably in something like a camera shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it worked out. It's great to set it in an actual spot like that, and it's great because he takes so many photos and whatnot too.
Mm-hmm.
Groovy. All right, so we're going to jump to Kamal next. We're going to show you a lined version of a background from the upstairs. So we'll take a look at that now. So here we go. It's liney. You can see it's the line's a little bit wiggly. Everything is a little bit wiggly on that line. Kamal, the ghost. Why is everything wiggly, and how does that work into the style of the cartoon?
Kenan said you wanted to have all lines done by hand, like we're not using a type of ruler to give a specific feel of it. So that's why they're wiggly.
So it's not intentional. Were all the backgrounds kind of wiggly looking?
Yes,
Yeah.
this one's quite obvious.
Yeah, so they all want to be kind of organic, more organic feeling than with a ruler within that. Cool. It's nice. So the whole process, basically, you guys lined them like that, based on the storyboards, based on the locations, and then you went into color and you used those color keys to paint, or what was the process to get the actual, like, the colors and the textures and that kind of stuff on it? Was there a process? I'm going to ask that to anybody, not just Kamal.
We tried to make it a very simplified process. I kind of threw together a style guide for background painting, and we felt because layout lines were quite. I take a lot of inspiration a lot of time from NFB films, and particularly I love the big snit.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed how their backgrounds had very natural kind of non-ruled lines, and so I felt that, I don't know, to emphasize a lot of the color, what we did was we just took like flat regular brush, we colored everything in, and then we used a textured brush in Photoshop to kind of, if we need to add texture or shadow. But yeah, a lot of the emphasis was on like just maximizing color and no real rendering needed.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kamal.
Character.
Yeah. I agree. All right, Julia, we're going to round it out with you. Now, you did some designs. We're going to show some designs right now. So this is Albert, the design we're looking at right now. You got a rotation, some color stuff, some expressions. Looks like he's got a bunch of different colored beards at one point too. How'd you guys decide on the beard of this man's color?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I feel like he looks so much like Keelan's original vision, but then he looks so different. And I remember I was looking at it and I was like, oh man, he hasn't changed much. But then when I put them side by side, I was like, he's changed a lot actually. And so Keelan and I worked together on making sure that the colors were fun and vibrant and reflected his kind of like personality and demeanor, because he is a very like soft, loving man who would rather put his dog on the sled and pull him than have the dog pull him on the sled. So yeah,
That's nice. It's the designs are great. Now, why is his nose so long? Why is it so long? Why people are asking in the chat, why is it so long?
Why is it so long?
Why,
It's
why
better-
isn't it
That's where he
longer?
keeps his secrets.
Why isn't it
What's
longer?
wrong
is
with
the
big
real
noses? Big nose gang.
It's funny because when I was designing him, I was like, yeah, his nose is going to be like the same length as from like here to like here, as the bottom of his mouth
here
is
to,
to
like,
the
with
bottom
all
of
these
his beard. And I went through the whole thing and I broke everything down into like very precise measurements and showed everybody. I was like, okay, this is how you measure this.
By the nose. That's great. That's nice. The designs are great. His
Thank
his
you.
little shrimp hands.
Yeah.
Those shrimp
Same
hands.
with the color palettes. Didn't we have Julia like 30 something color palettes?
Oh,
Until
yeah, that's right. We did.
there was a lot.
We had like 30 different options and we showed it to Gnome, our
Oh, yeah, I
character
remember
design. And he was like, why are there so many?
There's a question from Austin Payne, graduate, human. Who did his voice? Albert's voice.
The lovely Christian Potenza did his voice for us.
Ooh, shout out to Christian
Yeah.
Potenza out in
Thank you so much,
Hamilton.
Christian, for
Yeah.
lending you our voice.
Yeah,
your
thanks
voice.
to everybody at the Infinity Forge. They've been huge supporters of Seneca here, lending voices and songs and composing music. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Steph.
We
Thank you.
super appreciate that.
Kelsey,
so
thank
much.
you. Christian. Good question. All right, so let's turn it over to the audience. We should have asked for a few more questions earlier, but they're coming in anyway. Wondering why you guys chose a German title. It says Matthias Kuhl. Probably butchered that. But yeah, let's talk about the title because it's so long and it's so painful. But why?
Yeah, every time I would tell people that that was the name of it when I was pitching it, they go, is it a working title? Is that, it's honestly, originally I'm very indecisive when it comes to naming things, and I couldn't find the words to really describe in English the, kind of message and feelings I wanted to get across in this story. And so then I started turning to like some other languages, and I am familiar with like some German words, and I found this word, Mutterseelenallein, which does mean like being completely alone, and just kind of like a very deep loneliness, like a deep-seated loneliness. And that was a very good word to kind of sum up like all together the original kind of like story that was coming together at the time.
Do you think he feels like as lonely as that title now seems? It's like it feels gut wrenching saying that title. But
yeah,
then
I think he didn't realize how long.
He didn't realize.
Yeah.
It's a bit of the Castaway effect. I kind of would think of it like with Tom Hanks and Wilson the volleyball, of like he has these friends and neighbors, but they're not really friends and neighbors because they're not really a human connection. And he's just kind of like making do with what he has.
yeah, he's making. Somebody's like, who made all the mannequin people? and it was just him that made them, right? That's like
Yeah.
his coping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He built his community.
They're his friends he made.
It's just like in my basement right here. I've just built friends all around me.
You've made sculptures of each and every one of us.
Each and every one of us.
I punch them right in the face every night.
When
I don't. Edit this part out. That's fair. Was the dog modeled after anybody, they ask?
My sister's dog, slightly.
Oh, yeah?
Especially with personality. My sister actually filmed reference for me at points for the dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The dog's not, that doesn't live with you. It's the sister's.
No, does not live with me, unfortunately.
No. I have a stupid dog that lives with me though, so that also.
No.
We just love dumb dogs.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Are they watching right now? Go.
My
Oh,
sister's
dear.
watching, yes.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you so much, guys. That's a nice little bit of insight behind. Let's say it all together. Ready?
Mutterseelenallein.
Kamal, I don't know if I heard you.
Sorry, Mutterseelenallein.
Oh, nice job. All right. Well, thank you so much. Now we're going to thank these guys for sharing this great cartoon with us and pull in the director of Valet. So, Khalil, join us, please, if you're here. We'll see what happens, folks. Thank you so much.
I'm here. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can
You
see
hear
you.
me?
Yes, I can hear you better now. Welcome, Khalil. Welcome.
Hey. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We're at the end. You guys finished your cartoon, and I have it right here, and it's going to be a little clunky starting it up, but we'll be good. We'll be good to go. So you just got it under the wire. What was going down?
A lot. Just putting things together and just basically compiling everything and getting all the shots where we want it to be. But in the end, it came together, and I'm proud. I'm proud of the team, and I'm proud of where we came.
Yeah.
And how far we came. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Now this is it's a touching story that we're going to watch here.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about the story and kind of what inspired it? But don't give away too much, but tell us a bit about what we're going to watch.
So the story is about a person named Irene. Irene is laying in her deathbed in a hospital. She's accompanied by someone who she does not recognize. In her final moments, Irene shifts through what is left of her memory, puzzle piecing her life back together. Little does she know that the person in the room is deeply connected to what is most important to her. Right? The story actually is connected to some of our actual memories, as the whole story was actually made of our memories, and that's kind of how we came up with it. Is we shared our memories and we created this story of people who we lost in our lives.
Yeah. So it was a nice kind of mishmash. I remember when you're pitching it too, you're like, this is my story, but it's your story, and we can all kind of weave a little bit in. And did that work out? Everyone has a little piece of them in here?
Yeah, actually everyone has a piece. Even, people who helped out on the sides got, a area where they were able to put in something that connected them with people who they lost as well. So in the end, I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of where it came. And, in the beginning, it was definitely tough because I came in pitching it and I just said, I want this to happen. I want everyone to put in their memories. And it's like, depending on the team you have, this could have been a completely different story because it's our memories. So the story would change completely.
Yeah. Yeah. And depending on who's in your team. Could be about a frozen man, depending on who's in your team.
It could have been.
Luckily, Keelan was in another group. So before we kick it in here too, let's talk about the title, because this is another one where the title, you can say it one way, you can say it somewhere else, but it's, it's not half of the way. So tell us about Valet.
So the title is Valet. It is, what it means is it's your final words before farewell. It's actually Latin. I came across it when I was thinking about titles, my friend Christian actually helped me out with the title, and came and thought about that title, and I love it. Honestly, it sounds beautiful, and it means something. It means something really important.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we're gonna check out Valet right now. We're gonna load it up. Okay.
My little Kai Kai. Kai Kai, what do we say?
Thank you.
or new?
And we are back. Hello, we are back. What'd you guys think of that? Is everybody crying? Does everybody have enough tissues? What a beautiful cartoon, what a beautiful story, and what a beautiful bunch of animators here. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. And look at this crew, the lucky crew that gets to see people all hanging out in the house. So let's do go around. Let's jump to the crew with Khalil. You guys all introduce yourselves, and then we'll do a round robin. So Khalil, you're the director. What else did you do?
Sorry. Yeah, so my name's Khalil. I was director of Valet, also lead storyboard artist, one of them, and one of the lead animators. What I want to do is honestly animate. I love animation. I strive for animation. That's really everything I want to do is just animate, and I want to become great at it.
Right on.
So, yeah.
Okay, Jib went hopefully to mute whatever was playing the echo. But let's continue in there. So Tandra, what did you do? What's your role?
Hi, I'm the production manager as well as the prop lead. Yeah.
Production manager. Now maybe you guys know this and maybe you don't, but we make cartoons, but every group here has to have a production manager, which has to keep their groups in line and make sure things are humming along. And that's a thankless job a lot of time, wasn't it, Tandra?
Yeah, it's a lot of work behind the scenes, lots of Excel sheets and due dates and a lot to keep going.
But it's good. You guys were on it. You kept everybody in line for the most part and kept things humming. So congratulations. And the last in the house there, Jabril, what did you do? How do you fit in?
I was assistant director, story lead, rigging lead, and I was also one of the animation leads. And what I want to do is go into animation and then eventually storyboard. Yeah.
Cool. I don't see why you couldn't. I don't see why not. All right. Adam, let's jump up to you.
Hey. Hello, I'm Adam. I was a character design lead, and I had my fingers in being a color key artist and layout artist on the film. Yeah.
Great. Let's jump down to Doak. Chris Doak, everybody. Doak, what'd you work on?
I was audio lead, and I also worked on animation and layout.
Fantastic. Was audio hard?
Well, it was hard. Then it got reduced to like the last 30 seconds, which made my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Sleep schedule was just partially destroyed, not completely destroyed.
Yeah. Fantastic. Let's jump to Nona.
Yeah, hi. I was the layout lead, and I did some color keys too, and a little bit of animation.
A little bit. The good parts. Yeah. All right. And let's jump up to Jordan.
Okay, so I was a board lead as well as an animation lead, and I did a lot of I worked with a team, did a lot of revisions, and helped out the director kind of get his intentions across like 3D animation. So I was kind of like the middle person between the animation team and the director at times.
Yeah, which can be tricky. It can be tricky to be the middle one, the middle man. And you have fish. Let's not forget them. You're the mother to many fish. You're the fish mother.
Oh, my fish. Yes, I have a 20-gallon aquarium that I escaped from the bottom up, and it's a pretty rewarding hobby.
All right.
It's nice to look at.
Yeah. I love fish. I don't see enough fish these days. Just little fish that my son will eat. He likes eating fish. All right, so let's jump through. We're going to play some clips of people and talk a bit about kind of what you guys did. So first up, we're going to play a clip from Khalil here. Now this is a pretty crazy clip. We're going to play it, come back and talk about it. There's a lot of crazy clips in this one. So Khalil, we saw the spot where she's with the lady's getting up, walking over to the mirror, walks away.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about that shot and what you're trying to get across in there.
So the idea behind that shot was actually with Alzheimer's. One thing that happens is they tend to see their self as their younger self, and I know with my grandmother, a lot of the times she would say she things like she wanted to go back home, although she was already home, but she thought of her old house where she used to live. So the idea that we wanted to have was that Irene, when she gets up and she sees her younger self in the mirror, um, it has to do with Alzheimer's because you see your younger self.
Now, was that animating that shot hard? You had two versions of the same character. They have to interact. They can move the same. There's a lot of slow movement. Some people get freaked out by that. Did you get freaked out?
I didn't get freaked out, but it was definitely time consuming.
Yeah.
Well, it just took more time, but in the end, I would say I don't really get freaked out over shots because it helps me improve. So anything to help me improve, you know.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the best mentality is take it on by the horns, which I think you did. I mean, you did some of the hardest damn shots that anybody did in here. I think you and Jib both, like, those shots are forget about it. They scare me. Good luck. So we're going to jump to that next. But congratulations on that. Congratulations on this film as well. So we're going to jump to we're going to jump to Tandra next because she's production manager. We're going to show the oven shot. So here we go. All right, the fabled oven shot. They still talk about it in the halls of your house. But tell us about the oven shot, Tandra.
It's about, well, in the video, she like goes towards the stove because she sees the oven beeping. So she sees the pie in there. And when she gets to the oven, there's no pie in there. So we're just showing that her memory is just all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's tricky animating like a handle too, because you're opening a prop and it's got to be positioned just right. Now, did you hand animate that door, or how did that work?
Yeah, that's hand animated. Nona, our layout lead, helped me with the perspective of the oven, and then we kind of just animators in between those oven shots. Yeah, I didn't really have to deal with the handle too much, not as much as Jordan. That was tough.
Now, with that too, there's the little boy that's kind of drawing in the background, Malachi. Was he real? Was he not? Was he there? Or do we know?
In some parts of her memories, he is there. Like that's where he would hang out at times, I guess, when she would cook. But there's a lot of times where he flashes in and out. So he's there, but he's not. I don't know.
That's a good answer. It's a good answer. You're not nailing anything down for us at all. But thank you on that. All right, we're going to jump to Jabril now. So, Jib, we're going to show one of your crazy shots. One of them. Here we go.
Kai, what do we say?
Crazy character looking around. The other character's running around with a prop. Cut in. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a big learning experience. I learned a lot from animating this shot, and I had a couple other shots beforehand that if I didn't warm up with those two, I wouldn't have been ready for the shot. I know that for sure because I had to use a really clean process just to make sure that I kind of realized pretty quickly that you have to work clean, otherwise it slows you down in the long run. And then I also learned that hand drawing sometimes and then posing the rig to that hand drawn makes it feel better instead of just letting the rig just do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give yourself like the most flexibility.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, like to hit those poses too, because you don't want to be limited by the rig. For those of you guys that are tuning in, you're like, what are they talking about rigs? You just draw these cartoons, right? No. Jabril made like the craziest rigs that I've ever seen, probably, with all the layers and all the posable finger parts. So these characters, you don't have to draw them, you just have to pose them. They're like puppets. And you can grab master controllers of the face and move the characters back and forth with the face. Tell us a bit about building those rigs and how you went insane.
Yeah. Actually the rigging part of it wasn't too bad. It's kind of fun just to it's kind of like I like the challenge of it. Rigging is not what I want to do, but it definitely helps a lot to know your way around the program and how to rig something in case I ever needed it, then I don't really have to worry about the software. It's just like, okay, I know how to rig, so it's like I'm not really limited. But yeah, so when it came to rigging the characters, um, yeah, I worked with Anda a lot. She taught me a bunch and made some cool characters. And I just tried studying from some professional rigs, and I just went inside their puppet basically, and then just analyzed how things were set up, and then just took from that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you to you all. Lucky humans that get to see other humans. We're going to jump up to Adam now. We're going to watch one of your clips. Adam, are you ready?
I am. I'm ready more than.
Okay, okay, let's play it. So we just played it with the little guy. He's popping up and down on his log. So that was the first shot that you started, right?
Yes. It was a shot I was looking forward to. I like a lot of Ghibli films. One of my favorite parts about them is just like watching the way like the children are animated, because I think they're really good at capturing like the best qualities of small kids, just very energetic, like which is something I just wanted to integrate into the animation. A point I did want to make is I did use a lot of reference for this. I took a lot of video recordings of myself waving and like try to get into the like head of like a 5-year-old seeing a loved one. So like at first I was like, oh no, you don't wave like that. You wave with your whole body. And when you're like not waving, just bouncing up and down, just oh yeah, the adult I love, they're just coming this way. They're just coming to be with me. So I had a lot of fun with this shot.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I think you went through a lot of revisions too to kind of get it just right. You had him too bouncy, and then his hands were slidey, and then his arms were exploding, and it's cool to see it progressing and building and getting stronger and stronger until it's finally like, yeah, we do see this little 5-year-old Malachi bouncing around there.
Yeah.
Good. It's good. It's good. It's great stuff. All right, so let's keep going. Jordan, we're gonna play one of yours now. Do you know which one it is, Jordan?
It's yeah.
Of course, you submitted it. All right, we're gonna play it, then we'll come back. So there we have it. What did we see, Jordan? If you know so much.
So that was the shot where she's the grandma she spotted the drawing, the paper, and she's picking it up. And I think I enjoyed animating that shot the most just because I like kind of the up and personal moments where it's like I liked having like adding that hesitation right before she touches the paper, almost as if like, you know, when we talked about Tenji's shot where it's like, is this really happening? Is this kid really here? Was this really here a second ago, and why does this feel familiar? Because like, you know, I feel like when where memory is involved or memory lost, sometimes it can kind of feel like a blip in a simulation almost, where it's like you were sure that things happened a certain way or that this was real reality, but you know, you don't remember things correctly or things may or may not have happened. So she comes across this thing that wasn't there before that seems
oddly familiar. And with, I have I've had several family members with Alzheimer's, and you don't they might not recognize you, but I don't think that those feelings of, love go away. And that's kind of where I find comfort.
And do you love this hand rig now that you've got?
Sorry, I kind of got away from it. I just I liked the moment. I also boarded this shot because it's just an up and personal moment, I think, and like the subtle the opportunity to do some subtle acting with the hand was really nice.
Totes. All right, last up here, we got Nona. We're going to show some of the color scripts of the forest area. So we're going to check those out right now. Right on top of me. Look, right here. Look at and there's some snow too. So Nona, we saw some backgrounds.
Yeah.
So these are keys for Adam's shot, right?
These are actually the backgrounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the backgrounds for Adam's forest shot. So it's basically her searching through her memories within like each season, and we see Malachi, the boy, in these different positions. Just maybe like chasing a butterfly or like sitting on a log by a campfire. And yeah, it's basically just the grandma searching through her memories again.
Now, was it hard to do layouts on this film to kind of get to capture the mood?
Yeah, actually this shot went through many different versions. There's a bunch more. I just added like the main ones. Yeah, it was a bit difficult since they are more of a realistic style, not so much cartoon.
But kind of like offset too. Not all the lines are a little bit off. What was your inspiration? Was it kind of UPA? Was it?
It was actually 101 Dalmatians.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, 101 Dalmatians. They do a thing with the flats where they offset the color and the line. Yeah, we were mostly inspired by the 101 Dalmatians backgrounds. Yeah.
That's the original 101. If you guys are out there watching the 102 Dalmatians, not that one. That's great. Beautiful job. And Doak was crushing the animation as well. But all through this, I mean, there's so much good animation. That's a lot of good rotations too. But it's a really heartfelt film. So congratulations, you guys, for pulling this off. You pulled it off. The 11th hour. Congratulations. We're going to ask a couple of questions from the audience. We should have asked earlier since we're on that 30-second delay. But yeah, we'll ask a couple more things about that. Since each of you guys put something into that film, I'll just go around quick and ask you, what did you put in? Jordan, was there something that you put in from yourself? Your history, your life, your loved ones?
Well, just like the reason why I came onto this film was because Kulum had pitched this idea, and he knew that I had family members who had suffered from Alzheimer's, and so when he came up with this idea of we're gonna have this film where this is our opportunity to kind of do a tribute and kind of remember the good times with these relatives that we care so much about. So when it comes to bringing to the table, I got to kind of share with the group my experiences and pulling from our lives, right?
Yep.
So
Adam, what'd you pull in as well?
A lot of things. Obviously, I pulled a lot from what I did as a kid for a lot of the scenes I did with Malachi, and the actual forest set was inspired by my memory I would I lived on like a peach orchard, so there would be times like during the summer where my late Uncle Otto would actually come and we would just go to the peach orchard to get like sticks. It just ended up becoming more about like a forest setting. So that was pulled from that.
That's great. Jim, would you pull in?
So my grandmother, she passed away when I was about 3, and remember that she had this dress shop, and right next door, she would take me for ice cream at the convenience store next door. So that's how the ice cream location was, where the inspiration came from for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tandra?
My memory was the bedroom shot. I used to jump on my grandpa's belly when he'd be napping and just bother him, bug him. So, yeah, that's where it came from.
Nice. And Nona, did you pull something in?
Yeah, I actually had my memory integrated with Jabril's memory. Just because when I used to visit the Philippines a lot, my grandmother would give me money to go to the convenience store and buy just candy next door. And so me and Jib kind of had similar memory there. So we just kind of integrated it both together.
Nice.
Since they were similar. Yeah.
That's good. And Doke, did you throw something in? Did you throw down?
Yeah. Basically, I just included the memory of my grandfather who taught me how to whistle, and he was so good at whistling. He actually could whistle to the birds, and they would whistle back.
Whew. Was his name Uncle Otto as well? Oh. Chat's lighting up for Uncle Otto.
I did not see that coming. You're welcome, Uncle Otto. I hope you appreciate its clout. My goodness.
That's good. No, it's great. Everybody's thoughts were so integral to this film, from the whistling to the candy store to everything, and then just bringing it into one full vision. That's great. We had a question. What was the thought in having no sound effects until the very end? What was the thought behind that?
So the actual reason for that was that when someone passes away, oftentimes you don't want to believe it's true. You don't want to believe this has just happened, and the first thing you do is you deny that that person has passed away, and once you accept it, it all hits you at once. So that's the idea we wanted to go with the audio, is that you don't hear any audio until the grandmother says her final words, and you realize she's about to pass away. And when you hear that, that's when all the audio hits you at once.
That's great. Well, that's great. I think we've said a lot and we've seen a lot. So thank you guys for this film. Thank you for, struggling through at some points to get it all out. But I think the struggle is real, and the struggle is paid off. It's a beautiful film, and I'm sure all you guys are going to go on to do lovely things. So congratulations. Once again, we'll give you a round of applause.
Yay.
Party in the party house tonight. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye to these folks, and we're gonna bring in Eden. Eden, come on, join us. Eden is the director of the next film, Long After Us.
Hello,
Eden.
Barney.
Hello, Eden.
How's it going?
It's going great. You must be pretty happy right now. Your film's all done, and you're all dressed up.
Yeah, I'm sweating, but it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. So tell us a bit about your film here.
So my film, Long After Us, is about a post-apocalyptic Earth, and a small creature forages for human items looking to peek into the life of the previous owner. And so this film is just about one of those items.
Okay, one of those items. Now, what was the inspiration for this film? Where did it come from?
Trauma. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. I went camping with some friends, and I really like horror, and I saw a tree that looked like it had like a gash in it, and I think maybe I was inspired by Sleepy Hollow, and I was like, like, what if it was filled with guts? And then I also just wanted to do something experimental, so I kind of put those things together, and we got Long After Us.
Speaking of, there is some sexual content coming up. So if you
yes,
if you
and flashing.
So if you are kids at home or the elderly, cover your eyes, unplug for a minute. It's gorgeous. There's some wicked stuff coming up, but also some nudity, cartoon nudity coming up,
and body horror.
Yeah. So that's the good stuff. Great. So let's check it out, and we'll come back and talk more.
Cool.
All right. You're watching right now Long After Us with the Longer After Us gang right here on the Seneca 2D stream. Man, does it ever end? It will. We've got a couple more cartoons to go.
Mushrooms feed on my bone marrow, my thoughts now divorced from flesh. I had a dream. In summer heat, I drank from my mother's breast. Days spent blinking light back at the sun, a stream of stimulation. Carry my sleeping body from the car, let the sand sneak between my toes. Feel the music course through my bones from the vibrating ground. Eat a meal made with love, untie the knots of your hair. Wavering is my sense of self, a flickering candle fed by the dry air. May your whirling winds be gentle on my chaos-shaped frame. In this body, I leave a space for estradiol, spironolactone, and secrets for my heart's safekeeping. Will the streetlights still blink on? Will the leaves still change color? A scream into infinity, a roaring silence. Tell me I didn't make this all up. The skin between my fingers is stained with the memories of chances I let slip through them. Juxtaposition of blessings and burdens. Who is to decide one's purpose? What I am is a comet, not everyone will see. I pierce the sky with light, my insides enfold in the atmosphere. Woven into my being is the love from those I've met. The earth impaled by my heart's careful seeds. Here, I orbit the sun, and the moon pulls the waves. I'm swept onto the sands of time. Then, I'm gone. Are you home? Won't you leave a light on for me?
And we're
I
back.
like how the credits.
Long After Us has just played. Folks, the chat is going off the hook. Well, that's an old phone thing, but it's lit up. Thank you, folks, for putting it there. Hey, Aiden, how you doing? How's things? Thank you, everybody, for commenting, and thank you guys for making a lovely cartoon. Let's go around and see everybody that worked on it. So we'll start at Eden. What did you all do on this spectacular thing?
Hello, I'm Eden. I am the director, and I did storyboard lead, and I wrote it. Yeah.
Great. Let's go down to Kenzie.
My mic okay?
Yeah.
I'm Kenzie. I was one of the character design leads. I was an animator, and I also worked on compositing.
Nice. Thank you. Zay.
Hello, I am Zay, and I am co-lead for layout and color, along with the lovely Jody. I did a good portion of the forest backgrounds you saw.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Hyson, what's going down? What'd you work on?
Oh, hey, I'm Hyson. I worked on the effects, and I was also co-lead with Anna on animation.
Okay. Fantastic. Anna. Speaking of Anna.
Hey, I'm Anna. I was the rigging lead and Annie lead for Long After Us, and I did a fair portion of comping as well.
Okay. Good. Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I was the production manager and then kind of a jack of all trades in the film. Had my hand in everything.
Fantastic. And Jackie?
Hey guys, I'm Jackie. I was one of the lead character designers. I also did some illustrations for the film and some of the merch design as well, and I was also a little bit of an animator.
Fantastic. And last off is Jody.
Layout lead.
Perfect. Thank you, Jody. All right, so we're going to do a little round robin of stuff people worked on. So we're going to start off with Eden. We're going to play a clip of the...
Me again?
Yeah, I know. That's how I have it set up. I mean, otherwise I'm going to forget who I am and where I live. So we're going to play this clip right now and come back and talk about it.
Woven into my being is the love from those I've met. The earth.
So we just had saw a big crazy angel thing. Tell us a bit about that.
Big crazy angel thing. Actually, Jody boarded this part of the trip, and we very, very quickly. I was like, okay, well, instead of animating it all like hand drawn or something, why don't we do like a paper mache, or sorry, like paper doll kind of vibe? So, one of my roommates, Marlo, did the initial sketch of an angel, and Jody and I worked together on collaging photos together, and then rigging it was really interesting, but I ended up having a lot of fun. It was just like deforming a lot of objects and playing with the perspective that was not traditionally like a usual rig. And the nice thing about rigging it was that I didn't have to do like multiple sides, and I built the rig based on that scene, like I put every wing where it is so that it benefits the entire composition of that, and I didn't have to worry about what it looked like in other scenes. So that was it was a lot of fun doing that.
Cool. Very cool. All right, Nicole, we're going to jump to you next. We're going to play one of your bits here. And we are back. You're not kidding. It was a short bit.
It was a short bit.
So
it was an important bit.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about it. Why was it important?
Why was it important? It's our first kind of version and a vision of how small Creech is compared to like this huge tree god that we're bringing the phone to. It was a hard scene to work on. That thing has like 30 revisions. But the main layout was done, I think, in the storyboard by Jody. And then I kind of went in and added all the funky little details, the mushrooms and the rocks and plants and random stuff. The animation of like the vagina part of the tree is by Aaron Lunn, not by me, but I did the painting and the lining and the animating and the comping. So
Okay.
I just wanted to show kind of like the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. So you mentioned mushrooms, and there seems to be the theme of mushrooms running in this. Can we talk a little bit about mushrooms?
I could talk about mushrooms. I
Okay.
know Eden can also talk about mushrooms, but the
We
idea
can all
is
talk about mushrooms.
like the earth kind of had this apocalyptic end, and our bodies started feeding this earth, and these beautiful plants and mushrooms grew out of it. You can see in a couple of the scenes that the mushrooms have eyes, so we kind of wanted to like incorporate the fact that our DNA is now enhancing the world around us.
Ooh. Jody, what do you think of that?
Good.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Jody. Anything else on the mushrooms? There's mushrooms. Eat, feed my flesh is what you're talking about. Part of the poem.
Yeah. Yeah, like the theme was that like the feeding of the earth, like, you know, in my ideal sense of apocalypse, I just wanted to give good reason to some degree, so that was like the best thing that I could think of. In a lot of ways, this film is like coping with the idea of dying, and like the idea that like we are preserved within the earth afterwards was really important to me, because like, you know, like I'm just a fleshy being for here for so long, so the idea of like being incorporated back into everyone at the end is like, you know, brings me some peace. So that's where that part of the film kind of comes from.
Yeah. I love it. I love that you guys made a film about mushrooms and weird little things and cell phones. Why not?
Little boys.
Why not do that? All right, we're going to jump to Zay now, and we're going to look a little bit about backgrounds, and we're going to see some speed painting. Now, Zay, you can see there, and usually his screen is just zooming. He's just got cars zooming behind him, and I think it's suiting that he's shown a digital painting that he's done in here. So we're going to take a look at that. Some fast paintings, eh? Some fast paintings. So, how long would that have taken you? Is that like 4
you
weeks?
say fast, but I logged around 14 plus hours on that. It was quite a challenge because there were a lot of revisions as I went. The initial purpose of the speed paint I recorded is initially just, since this was the second painting, I wanted to showcase, you know, the process of painting, so that, you know, our helpers, because we had a lot of helpers on, you know, we had a lot of helpers helping with, you know, including animation, but also a lot of backgrounds were done by helpers. So I find that this whole speed painting process could shed light on how I approached painting such scenes. And it was best that the people on the production helping could see that process, so that they could kind of align or see how I did things, so that things could be a little bit more, you know, standardized. Because I am also, I did also have a hand in designing the look and feel of the forests. So yeah.
14 hours. Is that like 2 days? Is that 3 days?
It was, I believe, over the course of 4 days of painting. It was probably the most challenging one, since it was the most detailed. And
Were you
large,
eating? Were you
because it
staying
was a
hydrated while you were working?
Oh, yeah. I made sure to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's great. So you and Jody were basically layout co-leads in here.
Yep.
How much say did somebody have over the other one, or is it pretty much like whatever people did was fine, or how did that work with Eden, or what?
Our roles were fairly compartmentalized, because since I started off designing much of the the look and feel of the forests at the beginning of the semester, such as like in January, that's what I became most comfortable with. So I did a lot of the oversight in terms of the forests backgrounds, and then I reported directly to the director, Eden, and the other parts of it, such as namely the objects in the film. I found that I personally, since my style tends to be towards a more realistic style, I was struggling a lot more with, getting the objects down and like getting the objects in style. And conversely, Jody was the one who was designing those objects. So it was clear to her how she would have taken things. So she ended up doing a lot of that design instead, as well as you could see in the last shot, which is absolutely unbelievable. Blew everyone's minds. Jody knocked it out of the park with the last zoom out in the church. That was mostly Jody. So that kind of object heavy kind of thing, that was more Jody. But so it was like a little bit more compartmentalized, and we both kind of reported directly to Eden.
Fantastic. All right, thanks. Thanks, Say. We're going to jump to some design here. So we're going to look at Jackie. She did the poster. Take a look.
Yeah.
We'll take a snoop at that. The poster. The poster. And we're back. We just looked at the poster.
Hello, hello.
So how did you design that? What was inspired? Because it's gorgeous. It's like, it's pretty, it's kind of graffiti-esque. It's got neat colors.
It was definitely one of those things where we didn't really know what we wanted for our poster. There are different versions of it, but there was this one specific design that I did of Ash holding little Creech, and it looked really whimsical and didn't look like it was from the film, in a sense of like it wasn't a scene captured from the film. And our director Ian was just like, yeah, no, that's exactly the vibe we want for it. And then we kind of had this inspiration to go down the Art Nouveau route, which I had never had the chance to kind of step into at any point. And as I did research on the style, I realized that like the idea of this style perfectly encompasses the idea of our film, that it's just so crazy and there's so much and there's so many little details and the layouts are incredible, but you could spend hours looking at different little things that are hidden in these layouts in this film. And I think the style itself really represented the film. And we had aspects of like the angel in it and different versions of like color palettes and a bunch of really, really cool stuff. And I love how it turned out. And yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Yeah, it turned out pretty cool. And these guys are going to be making their own merch at some point once we're done. We have merch right now that these guys are doing, that they did group shirt, and we'll post a...
Get that plug, Barney.
Yeah. Trying to find it so I can paste it into the chat. I'm faltering here. I can't find it yet. But we'll find it. We'll get that into the chat in a second. We'll just queue up the next thing. So then Jody, we're going to play a little bit of Jody. Little Jody action of the whole church action. So we're going to show some of that. Look at this big old churchy layout. Look at all those layers. Look at that color. Look at this smooth narration over Jody's layout. And we're back. Jody, tell us in 5 words or less about that layout.
Preacher, home, clutter, good.
Love.
We have a running joke that Jody speaks in small little bursts, small potent bursts. But in a longer form, Jody, tell us about this church and about being layout lead, because it's a big task and you pretty much nailed it. So let's hear about it.
It's fun.
You're mostly working in Photoshop, working from color keys. How'd that all go?
Good. I only work on instincts. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Eden said bonk objects, so I bonk objects.
Yeah, I mean, with Zay and Jody, they both draw very, by the book perspective, and I kind of like to cheat. I like everything looking cartoony, and how I explained it to my group members is like taking a baseball bat to the spine of the object, right? You want it to feel like it's twisting. So, I mean, the beginning, like it was a lot of like revising and making sure that the style was sticking because, with the layouts are very complex, but it was really fun to see both Jody and Zay kind of like really learn so much about, like, I felt good about teaching them something on, like, a new approach to layout because they're both so good at layout. So
It's fair. I think we work out on that side. All right,
Only my pleasure.
Let's keep trucking along here then. Next up, we have... Who do we have next? Hyson. We have Hyson that's going to play next. And this is the opening shot. I didn't know that you did this, Hyson, until I saw it right now, and I was like, whoa. I want to hire Hyson immediately to animate all of my shots. Always. So let's take a look. And we're back after the opening shot. So Hyson, tell us about that shot. It's the important shot. It's the opening shot. It's got to be good. They gave it to you. Why? Why? Hyson?
Yeah. It's very important. Eden was very particular about the shot. She wanted the head of the creature to go in first because it had like a separate face, and then the eye appears. It was also in a weird perspective, which was like right below the creature, and we had to like sort of cheat in the arm for it to dig. It makes a lot more sense with the dirt overlay that I did not put in the clip, which Nicole did, and she did a fantastic job on that. But it was a lot of fun to do the scene, and yeah, it looks great with the comping that everyone did on it.
Yeah. Now you did a bunch of shots in here. Was this your favorite shot out of all of them?
Yeah. I think it definitely looks probably the best out of most of them, especially after everything is like put together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What was the trickiest part though? Because you have like this down. Nobody else uses this shot where you're underneath the darn thing.
Well, it was just like a lot of the down shot just had me like moving a lot of the limbs and then getting like patches in weird ways that you aren't supposed to use it on the rig.
Mm-hmm.
And then part of it is just cheating it, like when it goes off screen. A lot of things were broken if you got like off camera, off scene. The legs were everywhere and it was just a mess. But it looks fine, so everything works out.
It's all part of the movie magic. All right. And talking about the ace in your pocket, last up we have Anna, who is the Lord and Savior of the cartoon and the animation machine. So we're going to play one of your clips and then come back and talk about it too. So give it up for Anna. So great. We got creature picking up the phone. So much great weight in there. And this is a hard shot too because you have this creature that's balanced on these legs and then there's this tentacle with a hand with a phone and you got to relay all of this weight on there. It's got to be tough, right? And then plant those feet on the ground and then try not to get revs by me and your team.
Yeah, no, this was a rough one because this was my very first like super long shot. This is about 12 seconds long, and it was quite the time because you have everything in this shot. You have character interaction with the prop. You have the hand coming out of the head that had to be hand drawn to match the rig. You have like the weight running in, but it was fun. Like the character acting was really fun. Playing with the rig was really fun. I think it turned out pretty well too.
Yeah, it was fabulous. And all the shots you kind of animated. I mean, all you guys that animated stuff, it's gorgeous and it came together. And so, high five to all you, Kenzie, and the rest of the crew here. You guys crushed it. You guys crushed a hard film. I'd say this is the hardest film just because it was, it was an unknown. We hadn't done films with, this much experimentation and strangeness and loveliness. And I think I speak for the viewers at home. I think they really enjoyed it. They connected with it. They're maybe a little bit disturbed, and they'll sleep a little stranger tonight. But I think everyone's better for
that's
that.
the goal.
Good.
I mean, if you're not, then what's the point of making cartoons in the first place? Let's ask some questions from the audience too. So if anybody has some good questions, throw them out here, and we'll take a look at them. Because I'm sure some people have some questions about this weird one. That's fine. I mean, people may ask about Jody, but we're just not going to talk about it.
No, we don't talk about that.
We're not going to talk about Jody. It just encourages her to go out and steal stuff, which she stole that. She stole that bird. She stole those headphones.
Jody is a bird.
Jody is a bird.
Yeah.
I see nothing strange.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, Eden, you wrote this poem yourself, right? From the middle of it. How did that poem come to be, and how many revisions did you have on it, or was this the poem that you wrote straight up?
So I had some help from my roommate Marlo, and also Anna wrote one of the lines. So, when pitching the film, I wanted, Ash didn't exist yet. The character that the phone revolved around didn't exist at all. And I wanted everyone to kind of put something in it to kind of build their life. So there was a point we had a meeting and I was like, if you have text messages that you've received or notes that you've written to people or words that you like tell me and let's put it together. And we were throwing favorite quotes around. I was inspired by a lot of the music I was listening to. So there was a lot of that. And I think, I just wanted a progression in the poem to encompass the joys of being a child and then the fears of existentialism growing up and being trans. And then, at the end of the poem, when Ash meets their maker, the angel, who is also Ash themselves, I wanted to wrap it all up, and kind of encompass that initial theme of humans being put back into the earth with mushrooms and everything, Ash is now a comet and they're imbued with the love that they've met through other people, and that goes back into the earth to be recycled again. So I think that was the main plot, and we kind of filled it with other things, the sand between your toes and those small tasty moments of life that may be overlooked sometimes.
That's great. I think that sums it up good there. We've got a question from Anda. Of all the mixed media that you guys used, what was the hardest to get to work? Was there anything that you're I don't know, and then finally it did, or?
Anna, you want to talk about that?
Yes, I was gonna also suggest Anna talk.
We kind of, for my portion, it was looking at the train portion in the snow. We kind of ended up really what was it, burning out the eyes that sort of take up the screen. Deep frying the eyes. That's actually claymation. So I tried my hand at just animating with clay, and it was hard. But it turned out in the end, after some delicate love with Photoshop, definitely.
I guess I'll also say, I did some stop motion. I did a part with paint to look like blood, and I also animated my bed sheets swirling. And I think I had a lot of fun doing stop motion, but I think the hardest part was setting up a rig for it. I used an easel across these plastic bins and then taped Zay's DSLR camera to it and hoped and prayed to God that it would stay in place while I took all the photos, and I think it turned out.
There's a question from Michael Potter, where were all the barrels?
Oh no, the barrels.
The barrels from the Leica. They're in there.
My-
You just have to look for them.
My barrel was an integral part of the Leica. It got hated on so many professors. And we
We love
kept
you,
it
barrel.
anyway because it's beautiful. But there's only one. And you have to find it.
Okay.
The Where's Waldo moment.
Where's the barrel? Watch
Where's
it back.
Beverly?
Funny question there. Was there anything that you had to cut from this that was in the original cartoon, and then you
So
had to...
much. I mean, I meant to say this about the poem. It was actually like double the length, and we had to cut that. I mean, our film is essentially 2 films in one, so we had to cut so many. Like, we had traveling scenes of creature in the forest, and it was a lot.
Was there anything that you cut that you're like, oh, I miss you, barrels?
I mean, personally,
Or was it like
no.
all the cuts good? Like everything, like it worked out. You kept the heart. You kept the beating vajayjay and the rest of it.
Yeah, and we got our naked lady cane. That was very important to us.
It was
Yeah.
so I think we had what 3 items that the creature was supposed to find beforehand, but then we had to get one out.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, I don't remember the version of the movie before this one.
The there's a question earlier too. Is like, what does creature like to collect most? And talk about the upper face. Somebody was like, hey, can she see from that upper face or whatever? But what does creature like to collect? Is it mostly cell phones and Nintendo Switches?
Who wants to take it?
I can answer, but if anyone else wants to go, I don't want to talk too much.
Jody, please.
Jody. No, Jody.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, so the idea of creature collecting the items is that, like, it doesn't matter what the item is. The items themselves are kind of imbued with, like, the souls of the humans. So, like, Ash, as a young person in this day and age, keeps their phone on them quite a bit. And, maybe there's a barrel in the church that the creature has collected, and we don't know why that barrel is important to someone's life. But I think what creature looks for and has a sense with its big eye is that, like, it can't see, it needs the tree to see into the items, but creature on its own does have a sense of how close these items were to a person and why it might pass off some items more than others.
Okay. I think that's good. I think we got to wrap it up. We got to keep rolling. Got to see the Dracudate. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody here
Thank you
for making a splendid film that has raised the bar for what we do here at Seneca in a strange and wonderful way.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. All right, we're gonna get these guys out of here, and we're gonna pull in Rial, who's the director of our final film tonight. Rial, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, you're the final film. We're playing Dracudate last. It's the closer. It's the clincher. And I scheduled it so because you nailed it. Your team, you motivated your team. You did a great job putting this all together and having a really tight, wonderful cartoon that I think speaks volumes. So tell us a bit about it and what inspired it, and yeah, tell us about this lovely cartoon.
Definitely. Dracudate is a fun little film about a vampire who is going on her very first date with her crush, and she is trying to make it all work out, but in the midst of all that, she runs into a monster hunter. So she has to try and save the date while also not getting caught.
It's tricky. We've all been there. We've all been hiding from monster hunters. I mean, no, we haven't. But that's cool. So how did this, monsters and all that, like, were you always a fan of monsters and vampires and... Yes, no?
I think monsters are always fun. I think with a lot of LGBTQ plus folks, with a lot of monsters, I find that monsters are pretty popular within the community. I think it's because we like to take a lot of like tropes and then see them as well in the media that we create and see ourselves reflected in media, which is part of the reason why I guess Dracudate was made, because we wanted to have a silly little film about like a date romance and it to have two female leads.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we're going to check it out and we'll come back with you and your team. Thanks so much, Rial. You're going to watch Dracudate, final film, right here at the 2D stream. We are back. Welcome back, Dracudates. Wow, what a fabulous cartoon. What a pumping soundtrack. We were just dancing. You guys missed it. We were dancing. So we're just going to do the round robin here. Rael, what did you... So you directed this. Did you write it as well? How did it all come together and what did you do?
Hi, yeah, my name is Rael. 唐诗来自是你感受. I directed, I did lead in storyboard, color, as well as in animation.
Great. And then let's go down. Jesse?
Hi, I'm Jesse. I was one of the storyboard leads. I was also the compositing lead, the editor, the sound design person. I helped a little bit with effects, and I also animated and made the little bat rig. Thank you, Onda. Shout out to Onda.
Nice. Louisanne?
I was the character design lead and one half of the layout leads, and I was also one of the animation revisionists. Yeah.
Okay. Kanisha?
Hi, I was the rigging and prop lead. I also did a bit of character and shadow comping.
Shadow comping. Sounds devious. Sophia?
I'm Sophia. I was the production manager and the layout lead and color, like BG painting lead. Yeah.
Great. And Fran?
Hi, I'm Francine. I'm the animation lead along with Layla. I also did the effects, worked on animation revisions, and I also built our Lilith rig.
Okay, fantastic. And Moonbeam?
I'm an animation lead along with Fran and Ray, and I was part of the revisionist team as well, and just helped here and there with some other stuff. Yeah.
Nice. And Delaney?
Yeah. Hi. I worked on the 3D model of the wheel. I modeled, textured, rigged, animated, set up, and comped it in Maya and Harmony with the help of Christian Lee Kim and Bianca Geary. Shout out to them. They did amazing.
Wow, wow. So the whole 3D thing, I mean, that's the fun thing about this 2D stream is we somehow, I mean, we don't, you guys do, somehow trick your friends working in the 3D stream to help out with the 2D side of things, which is magical, which brings some of the stuff. Like this is, you really feel like they're in this Ferris wheel as it's going around, and that's pretty cool. Delaney, we'll come back and look at some of that stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to play some clips again, going around. So we're going to start with the director. Play a clip from Rael. So it's great. The old Scooby-Doo trick here. Now this, when you're boarding it, you went through a lot of revisions with this, eh?
Yeah, definitely. I had the opportunity to not only do a lot of revisions for the boards for this one, but also animate it, which was a really great experience to see it really transform, because we ended up doing a lot of studying to figure out what makes the Scooby scene like successful. And in the end, I don't remember who suggested it, but someone was just like, "What if we just like bring a tentacle out and it just like picks her up and brings her back in?" And it's been that way ever since. So
the best gag is in there. They run out, and at the end, they run out holding each other's hands. So Sal is holding what's her face's hands?
Lilith.
Sal's holding Lilith's hands, and like that's a great gag. But that wasn't in the original thing either, was it?
It was in the final storyboard.
In the final, but not when you guys first started having it, because they were just running. They're just running around, and I don't think there was much of a joke to it.
There was also doors.
Yeah, we had doors.
There was going to be so many doors.
And we ended up cutting them out because we realized we didn't need to animate doors opening and closing several times, and it was made it a little bit easier for me as the animator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those gags that really worked. I think in Half of the Way they had the gag where they all fell back in the car where they went over the bump and she banged on it. Drew banged on it, and then they hit the gas and they fell back, and the cymbals and stuff went up, and that was a great, funny, like a real moment. It didn't feel like a college cartoon, and the same thing with this. It doesn't feel like a college cartoon. It feels like a real cartoon. It feels like it's got a lot of heart and soul to it, and the gags really read. So I think, kudos to you guys, and I think you guys as a team really worked well together to build the story, build the characters to a believable state where we really, we can relate to them, we can enjoy our time with them, and we see them as real people. So good on you. Good on you. All right, we're going to keep trucking. Soph, you're up next. We're going to show, I think, the same shot because you're going to focus on the background. So here we go again.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it again, you want to focus on it, you want to see the gags. Now, there is still slamming doors in here. You guys left the slamming door sound effects in, or was that in the original cartoon or just in this cut, the clip?
I think it might have just been in that particular clip before the new audio.
Okay. Well, we're going to listen to it. There's door sounds. Listen to it. All right, we're back. Did you guys hear door sounds? I heard door sounds. So if we saw the same clip, we saw it because there's backgrounds, and also because you're the production designer and you get to do whatever you want. Production manager.
I worked on a lot of layouts and like BG Paint for this project, and that one was like by far my favorite one, next to maybe like the vertigo shot, just because the characters actually interact with the backgrounds that I paint, which is like kind of cute. It brings like the whole story together, and I just thought like it was a really sweet moment, and like collaborating with Ray, making this shot like really like our team has been just so good, and like we've been like closer as friends too, and doing this film has just been like a lot, and it means a lot. So that film that shot meant a lot to me, so I chose that one. That's
great. All right, we're going to jump to 3D now. We're going to look at something from Delaney, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. All right, there we go. We saw that a couple of versions in there. Tell us a bit about building something like this and being tasked with trying to match storyboards that are flat, but you are definitely not.
Yeah, the whole process was super interesting because it's something that none of us have ever touched, 2D and 3D integration. We basically had to like invent our own pipeline and fix everything that came up as it came up. The whole fitting 3D objects into 2D storyboards is super interesting because you build this beautiful model and then you realize you have to break it. You have to tear it apart so that it can work with the 2D stuff. But it was really rewarding in the end. A lot of fun problem solving to do.
Was there anything that you just couldn't do? They're like, do this, and you're like, I just can't. I can't give anymore. I can't do it. And I quit. And I hate you.
At some point late in the production, they wanted us to put a different shader on it, and that would require us to redo tons and tons of the work that we already did. So I was like, well, no, we can't really do that. But we found a different solution for the problem. The problem was style matching stuff, which was really tricky because you build the wheel before you see all the style of the 2D stuff. But yeah, we found a way to make the colors look good.
What'd you do?
Fix a lot of the problems.
What'd you do? I gotta know.
Sorry?
What did you do to make the colors match?
Oh, we just put it into Premiere and did some funky, cool stuff in Premiere with all the cool little note effects that they have.
So that was Jesse that did that, or who did that?
Delaney and I did it together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Delaney. That was delightful. Nice to meet you
Thank
as
you.
well. I've never seen you. I don't see you around the halls much these days.
Yeah, no.
Like a ghost,
exactly.
ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But thank you. It's pretty awesome that you helped us out make such a beautiful film. So thanks for that.
Thank you so much.
We're going to jump to Louise Ann. Here we go. We're going to watch some crazy animation. That was a quick one. It was a quick one.
It's a quick one, but it was a very in a way, in its own way, a complex one because there was a lot of camera tracking with the weight. But I'm really happy with how the shot turned out because I got it to have like that reaction of Lilith and just the impact of the hammer sending the weight off to the sky, and it's just I think it turned out really fun and enjoyable.
Was it hand drawn, this one?
This one was all rigged.
With the upside down, that was even part of the rig too?
Yeah, that's part of the rig. I had to deform it a ton. And I actually just kind of went pose to pose to where she starts to hit the hit the hammer to the test of strength, and then just cut it the next pose is that she's up in the air. So I had to work around that because the tweening it was very very warped.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, just an animation question, because you guys have rigs, but you guys also did a fair amount of hand drawn, I guess, in here too. Did everybody do hand drawn in their shots, or was it mostly the crazy ones that you couldn't hit? That's a question,
Crazy
everybody.
ones.
Oh, it was the crazy ones. Francine has been our hand-drawn god, and so if you watch the first scene or the last one where Lilith flies away, they're all hand-drawn, but the way Francine does it, it's almost seamless in terms of you can't tell when it's a rig or when it's hand-drawn.
Yep.
It's funny because when we were assigning our shots, I specifically said, I will take any shot with hand drawn.
And you murdered, yeah, you did the opening and closing shot, which are huge. So, fantastic. I mean, that's the beauty of I guess where we are at in technology too, is for a while, when I went to school, it was all hand-drawn. And then it was all kind of nasty rigs that didn't really make sense. And now it's kind of leveled out where the beautiful drawing and the rigs can kind of live simultaneously, and I guess also coexist with cool 3D cars and props and that kind of stuff too. So awesome. Thank you. We're going to keep trucking now. Jessie, we're going to show some of Jessie's stuff. There we are. Quick one. Ended up holding hands. So tell us about that one, Jessie.
I had to redo this shot a lot. I had to redo a lot of my shots, but I feel like each time it kept getting better. And I think I finally mastered the dreaded turnarounds in animation, especially when it comes to rigs. Yeah, it was also fun to edit in Premiere afterwards, especially adding all of the glowing effects and stuff. So it was fun.
Now with the hand holding, is that two rigs intertwined? Is it a drawing? How did you do that? Because I know you had some revs on that.
One of them was a rigged hand, and the other was drawn part on top of it, because I definitely tried to mishmash their hands, and ultimately it didn't really work out. So I ended up just drawing it.
Cool. Nice. Lovely. And then last we got Kanisha. We're going to take a look at some rigging stuff. Okay, and we're back. There we go. So tell us a bit about rigging, Kanisha, and why you love it more than anything.
So pretty much, I came into the program not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do art. I like the idea of making this mechanical, pretty much this puppet character that you can like move and pose in any way you want. And there's also like the technical aspect of it, but there's also the art and making the artwork together in motion. And then watching the animators like take what you've created and then like make like magic with it is like amazing.
It is magic. It is strange devil's magic. We're gonna go for your questions right now. So throw out some questions as well as we go through, and let's hear what's going on. And then we're about done. We're about done with things to say. We've shown all the cartoons. We've talked about them to death. Who wants to hear anything more? But we're going to pull in the new 2D stream. So you new 2D streamers that are watching right now, we're going to pull you guys in after this thing ends, and you can ask all the questions that we couldn't ask on TV, on the new TV here. But I have a question as well. Your color script and color scheme. How did you guys, get so cohesive? Because the whole thing, the whole brand of this, like you see like I can cut one corner of anything out and be like, oh, it's Dracudate right there. Boom. The purples, the glows, the colors, the saturation. How did that come about?
We spent a good amount of time on a lot of the color scripting, going over a lot of different kind of styles, and we ended up kind of also even altering it slightly when it went to the final background painting, and it became kind of analogous / monochromatic in some places. It really was a huge effort between me with color lead and Sophia with background paint, working together, getting the whole team together, like matching up shots, doing color revisions like everywhere. We had the whole team working on like color tints and color overrides in each shot. We wanted to make sure that the colors were, as Dracudate would say, really tasty. Thank you for the good food. Thank you for the good food.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. It's all kind of Candy Crushy, nice reds. And this just in, we got Fran's clip. We got it right now. So we're going to play that right now. I know, right? That's the magic that we have here. So I'm going to load up this. There we go. Triple threat. All some hand-drawn stuff. So tell us about those clips there, Franny. I mean, you already kind of did, but tell us more.
Yeah, they were basically all hand-drawn, except for the one where they're right in front of the moon. That was like a hybrid of hand-drawn and rig. At like the last turn, that was all hand-drawn. I just didn't want to touch the rigs, honestly. But eventually I got around to getting comfortable with them. They were just a lot of fun to do. Batlith is just a lot of fun to animate, and I had to learn how to do a wing cycle, so yeah, now I'm experiencing that.
I can get anything. Although first years I hear are drawing some flying cycles I saw. Or second years? Second years. I saw it in the demos. There's somebody asking who would win in a fight between the characters.
Lou,
for sure. Lou's so strong.
So big too.
Like, large.
Yeah, because
strong.
I mean, she destroyed the hammer game.
Yeah, that was the whole
in
point.
her human form.
That's a good one.
But at the same time, Lilith pulled an entire Lou.
That's
true. That's true.
They would never fight though with each other. They would be a tag team.
They would fight with Sal.
They'd be Sal and her cat girlfriend.
Yeah, and her cat girlfriend. Yep. Canon.
We're going to ask another question here. What scene had the most revisions? Is there a most?
I want to say one of my scenes because I know a few of them got to like at least 20.
A long way down was kind of hard.
Yeah, that one took a while.
Yeah, we started with like, wasn't it like 3D too?
Yeah, it was 3D, and then it turned to like, let's just do a 2D background. And then it was like, hey, this thing on Twitter, kind of cool, Sophia, can you do it? And then I was like, yeah, I can try. And then having to draw every piece of the buildings and deforming everything and having Toon Boom crash on me multiple times was awful.
Yeah.
But it looks cool.
It does look cool.
I know.
I think maybe one of the best things about this cartoon is it's inspiring. It's inspiring for people to watch it, to think that they can belong, that they can be part of something, that they can create something. A lot of people are inspired just by, so little amount of people can make such a great cartoon. And I think just allowing people to be themselves, I think, is the other beautiful thing of it too. Would you guys have any other comments on that to help shut things down here?
I think something that really stuck with me that Keelan actually mentioned earlier when this idea was pitched is that like something that's like problematic in this film is like that they're monsters, not because they're part of the LGBTQ community. Because like a lot of LGBTQ films, they're more about the problem is that they're part of the community, but here the problem is that like they're monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trans rights and gay rights.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just
Trans
have it
rights.
normalized because
Mhm.
as it should be.
We just wanted a happy
Happy
gay
cute
story
game.
without
happy,
having to
fun
be a
film.
coming out story.
Exactly,
or-
just something that was just
Yeah.
normal and fun.
And I think as well, like especially with this year, I know as director, one of the things that was a priority for me when I was pitching the film was that it was going to be a really difficult year with COVID and being so separated. Knowing that we were able to not only have fun making the film and really like have a good time, get closer as friends and grow as artists together, but also make something that I think is really nice and maybe brings a few smiles to a few faces in these trying times in this economy.
Gotta bring the economy
Just
into
a
it.
little bit of love in this economy.
Well, I think on that, I'd like to thank you guys for to coming together, to be this powerhouse, to winning the first pizza challenge, which you ate last night. All these guys won pizza.
Thanks, Barney.
And they ate
Thank
it
you,
up.
Barney.
Thank you,
Barney.
Hey, Barney.
Thank you guys, and thank you to folks at home that are still with us after 2.5 hours of live stream. We're glad that you're here. I think there's about 300 people or so watching, so that was pretty cool, I think, at some point. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting us, and thanks for asking questions, and we'll see you. There's Seneca's doing a big grad show called Seneca Coalesce. You guys can check that out on the 17th of May. If you're still in tune, there's a slide in our opening closing things that we're going to play the cartoons to open that up as well. And one of these lucky cartoons is going to get direct entry into the Taffy Animation Festival, which is going to be cool. So we'll announce that there as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time right here on the old 2D stream. And remember, all you 2D next years, stick around. You're going to pop into this very stream and we'll talk. Thank you, folks. Thank you for commenting as well. It's lovely to have you here. Even though we're all separated by these black bars, we're all together in this together. Together. See you next time. Right here in the old 2D stream.
Bye.